Following on from my last video about managing your finances as a university student, today I want to tell you my experience of being aware of your own spending habits in general, not just as a student. So you may have a certain amount of money you limit yourself to spend for each month. And how do you go about spending that? You may be living alone in a student halls, maybe if you're young, or your own apartment to go to work, and paying rent. You may still be living at home like me and saving yourself all those expenses. So the general way you would manage your money is via budgeting. And this is what I've done at university. I often work once a week as a freelance waiter. I go around to all these different jobs, and my next job is one walk away, so I don't even have to get public transport for it. Lucky me. And this way I stay afloat just fine. But what are the things you need to look out for when you are a student or someone living in your own accommodation, or any adult really who is managing their own money? Well, you've got to avoid the spending trap. What do a lot of people feel obliged to do when they receive their paycheck? They go out and spend it all, and that's good. You should celebrate the incoming money and use it for a good, enjoyable purpose. But you better watch out for what you spend. See, it's easy to get carried away when you're under the influence of alcohol and spend more and more and more on your tab. Maybe order a fancy champagne. I don't know. You might do whatever you want. It might be different. You might take a trip to the shopping market and go on a spending spree in Zara and H&M and absolutely rinse through the money. And then all of a sudden at the end of the day when you check your bank balance, oh, where's it all gone? And then you're like, well, I'm screwed. I have to limit myself to certain purchases, even when I go shopping for food now, and that's not a way to go about it. So how can you anticipate these things coming? You've got to learn about yourself and become perspicacious. Perspicacious means having a ready insight into and understanding of things, and what you need to understand is yourself. How do you behave around money? How do you behave when you celebrate? How do you behave when you know your next paycheck isn't coming for another 30 days? You've got to calculate all these things and do long-term planning ahead. And importantly, when will you learn the skill? Well, you will notice that your parents are probably very good at this. They've had decades of managing their money with their job. Some have been doing it since they were our age. I know my parents have. They didn't go to university. They just went straight into their job and let the life experience come as they wish. That was their generation. And now with our generation, we have a lot more appealing things to spend our money, also very extortionate things, just to look good. Say it's a bit of fashion, a new coat, it looks trendy, and people will look your way when you buy it. But after a while, you're like, damn, I spent too much money on this. It wasn't even worth it. The purpose of a coat is just to keep me warm, so why did I spend that extra on it looking this good? Maybe it's your circumstance. Maybe you have to go to business meetings and it looks good with your suit. But for most people, they'll have a different reason, and everyone has their own reasons to buy these clothes and spend the money in the ways that they do. So you just have to be logical here. Know your behaviors, know your ways of spending, and act accordingly. You know, the best way to manage your finances is just to live and learn. We've got to literally do what our parents did back in the day, except now things are a whole lot more expensive. Even adjusting for inflation, because there are fashion brands and also mobile phones and accessory brands that would price their items way higher adjusted for inflation than the prices of the accessories were that our parents bought when they were young. But you should enjoy being young, stay focused, and be mindful of your spending habits, and put aside the correct amount of money to spend this month on your fancy accessories and everything. I know you've got this. You just have to go out there and experience it. Your support network should be there to help you while you're at it. And with that, I wish you a fun and enjoyable time, and that you gain a lot of experience along the way about how to spend your money. I hope that helped you. Thanks for listening, take care, and see you in the next video.